What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to your comic book review video where I say words about a comic that I read and you, the magically delicious, listen. It is I, your crazy Nicolas Cage, your steward of Gondor, your genius, billionaire playboy, basic YouTuber philanthropist, SuperCliff. And would you guys be ever so kindly as to smash that like and subscribe button, because every little bit helps in this crazy YouTube world. And today, guys, we are back at it with our Kung Fu kicking adventurer, Shang-Chi, issue number 3, part 3 to Shang-Chi versus the Marvel Universe. And this time, our hero is facing off against everyone's favorite Canadian, Wolverine, written by Gene Luen Yang and drawn by Dyke Ron. And without further ado, let's get freaky. Alrighty, folks, so our story starts off in the Mochris Lake, Canary National Park in Ireland. And it's here where we have ourselves this tourist couple who are being taken across the lake by this old tour guide. And I don't know why, but for some strange reason, this old man is giving me those Dizzy vibes from Gears of War. Side note, I love that character. The name's Dizzy, and my rig's a sweet little thing named Betty. And whilst on their way, the boyfriend, probably as a means in wanting to impress his girl, takes a bite out of his candy bar and simply throws it into the water like a badass. Like, take that, Earth. Meh, you can't tell me what to do. You don't know me. But immediately upon doing this, the old man freaks out, telling the boyfriend that what you just did, son, is insanely dangerous. But we quickly learn that it isn't because the old man cares about the environment, go green go, rather, it's mainly due to the giant lagoon monster named Mucky, who lives in the bottom of the lake. And because Mucky smells candy, the beast from the deep is hungry. Now, where the young couple are freaking out, like to the maximum, surprisingly the old man doesn't seem to be that terrified. Rather, he's just annoyed, and he tells the couple that they're gonna be alright just as long as she arrives soon. And this is where we pan over from across the lake and see a mysterious woman, to whom the locals refer to as the Lake Witch. And as she makes her entrance known, she begins playing the flute, which as a result holds back the creature from eating the people. Yet while this is all happening, the boyfriend whips out his phone and starts making a YouTube video. And after uploading the clip to YouTube or to his TikTok, the old tourist man takes the dude's phone and breaks it like a boss. Because the people who live in the area, they have an agreement, a mutual understanding with the Lake Witch. She protects them and vice versa. Basically, the community keeps her whereabouts a secret. Later on, we see the character known as Jake Paul calling out the Lake Witch for a boxing match. I'm just kidding. Although I might actually pay money to see that happen. I digress. But yeah, this is when we pan over to New York City, where we see that Shang-Chi has just finished the construction of a new house of the Daily Hand. And while Esme's sister Dagger and Takashi, brother Saber, are chatting it up with Shang-Chi, Master Ling walks in and tells Chang that a video is currently trending on the tweet, aka Twitter, and that it's something he should definitely check out. And as it turns out, the video that the guy posted prior has gone viral. Everyone around the world knows about the Lake Witch. And upon seeing this footage, Chang is the only one who seems to have no idea as to who this woman is. But he quickly learns out that the Lake Witch is another one of Chang's half-sisters. Chang then learns that her name is Jilan, and she's originally from the House of the Deadly Staff. And years back, their father had sent Takashi to kill her, for reasons which we'll talk about later on. Yeah, I know, anticipation, but deal with it. But besides that, the other reason was that she wanted to make changes within her father's organization, much like Chang's doing at the moment. But Daddy was like, get fucked, little girl, and thus he sent Takashi after her. However, this was one of Takashi's first missions as the leader of the House of the Deadly Saber. So we soon learned that he intentionally failed mission in order to let his sister live. However, ever since that mission, he's kept a piece of her flute with him to serve as a reminder of his failing. So yeah, he basically regrets his decision that he made all those years ago. Yet despite that, because with hearing this, Chang is like, okay, well, we're gonna pick her up so we can all work together, unite our family as one. And so from there, the group travels to Ireland, where the Lake Witch has been last seen. And here we see the broken flute piece that Takashi kept. And basically he's using the piece as some sort of tracking device, because after his encounter all those years ago, Takashi had Master Lin put a spell on it so that the broken piece would be compelled to be whole of Jian's flute, thereby leading it back to her. Along their way, they see a ton of locals protesting about how the Lake Witch needs to go. And at first, this might seem as a whatever moment, but hold on to your butts, folks, because this links quite well to Jian and her character as a whole. And so as the trio make their way through the forest, Jillian shows up, taking back the missing piece of her flute staff. And because Takashi's here, she's led to believe that they're all here to kill her. Thus, with her flute staff back in full power, she quickly uses it, immediately detaining our heroes, keeping them in restraint. However, Sister Dagger is able to loosen her hand, and she manages to throw a dagger, causing Jilon to lose concentration, resulting in Takashi becoming free. And because he still wants to prove his loyalty, he goes in for the kill. However, Takashi's blade is immediately blocked by Wolverine's claws, who, by the way, no one was in any way expecting to show up. Like, the fact that Wolverine is here, out of all places, is completely random. But with Wolverine blocking the attack, he begins to tell everyone that due to the video going viral across the internet, Logan was sent here by Beast to defend Jilon. But before he can explain any further, Esme attacks Wolverine with a bunch of daggers to keep him away from her brother. And very soon after that, Chang jumps in to do the same thing. And thus the fight between Shang-Chi and Wolverine begins. And holy crap, is this fight going full-on Fury Road. Now during their fight, Wolverine mentions that he's heard rumors about Chang taking over his father's organization, and so he wonders if Chang is working with the Friends of Humanity, which, in case y'all didn't know, in the X-Men books, the Friends of Humanity are extremely anti-mutant, and ever since the King in Black event, they've also become anti-alien. So yeah, the more you know. And while Wolverine continues to dish out more and more accusations, Chang in response is trying to figure out as to what Wolverine is trying to get at here. Meanwhile, Esme, in the background, tells Logan that his people, meaning the people of Krakoa, mutants, shouldn't interfere with the affairs of the Five Weapon Society. Yet Wolverine explains that his people are the prime reason as to why he's here, because Jilon is a mutant. Therefore, by Krakoa law, she is under Wolverine's protection. And this immediately throws everyone off, because no one knew, including Takashi, even Jilon herself, no one knew she was a mutant. And it's because of this, we understand as to why Zhang Zhu wanted Jilon taken out, because she was a mutant. And according to Takashi, their father taught them while growing up that mutant kind has the potential to become the most devastating colonial power in the entire world. It's because Zhang Zhu was so anti-mutant, he basically indoctrinated his children into becoming anti-mutant as well, all except Shang-Chi, of course. And so because of their father's teaching, and having been raised in the tradition that mutants are bad, Takashi and Esme go in for the kill, while Wolverine prepares to counter. But fortunately, Chang is able to block and disarm everyone's attack, disarming Takashi and Esme's saber and daggers, whilst kicking Wolverine across the face, sending him over the cliff's edge. But luckily, Chang is able to save him in the nick of time. Afterwards, Chang manages to catch up with Jilon, who ran away during the fighting, and he lets her know that he's in charge. I killed Zhang Zhu, I am the new supreme leader of the Five Weapon Society, and I was told by Master Lang that you are a like mind, and you wanted the same changes that I currently want. So let's forgive and forget, and let's work together as one. And after speaking with Chang, Jilon lets Wolverine know that though she appreciates Krakoa's invitation, she's decided to go for family. Now at this point, this is where all those protesters who we saw earlier start to converge on their location, because they're out for, quote, mutant blood. And so as a means to help Chang and his family escape, Wolverine lets them know that he's got this, and that he'll hold them back so that they can make their escape. But before Jilon leaves, he tells her that whenever you change your mind, or if you decide that where you are in life is not good enough, the offer still stands, girl. Switching over to New York, while Jilon is playing her flute, Chang, Takashi, and Esme are discussing the current situation. And with Takashi still being skeptical, this is where Master Lin steps in, and he lets them know that when the society was originally created, the group was founded by a group of rebels who trained under the mystic arts during the Qing dynasty, whom considered this act of practice to be illegal and therefore dangerous to their rule. So in a way, it's very similar in the way in which Chang is running things now. And much how the mystic arts were accepted back in the day, so too can mutants now. And thus, with that point of view taken into consideration, both Takashi and Esme eventually accept their sister. But it's later that night, while Jilon is sleeping, where she's immediately woken up by the mysterious cloaked individual, whom we've seen at the end of every single issue, and he's offering her a proposition, that being the destruction of the Five Weapon Society. because at the end of the day, this person doesn't believe that the organization can be saved nor reformed. In the end, it needs to be burnt to the ground. And that, folks, was Shang-Chi, issue number 3. And hot diggity dog, this was a great issue. Not only was the action fun, but this issue also reminded me of a bit of American History X. Okay, well, not to that extreme maybe, but nonetheless, it was very interesting to learn that Zhang Zhu was very anti-mutant. And because of the fact that both Esme and Takashi were raised by him, you can almost feel the frustration that Chung is having to deal with. Because not only is Chung trying to save the world, he's got a lot to deal with at the same time. Bad guys, fellow heroes, his status quo, and his family. And at the end of the day, both Esme and Takashi aren't bad people. Like, they have the ability to grow and learn. And Chung knows that. He understands the circumstance. Yet it's great seeing Chung take that leadership role and basically telling them in a very commanding way that, listen, our father was a jerk, but it doesn't mean you have to live and breathe what he said. And so I'm definitely interested in seeing how Chung can improve and develop his family without completely turning them against him. Also, who the fuck is his shadowy figure? Like, I honestly don't believe it's Zhang Zhu. However, at the end of the day, until we officially know who it is, I'm going to stick with my guns and say that this guy is the Mandarin, because movie comic synergy. Also, when it comes to the book's art, the usage of green is fantastic, especially whenever Ji-Lan had to use her flute staff. Great stuff. But yeah, this issue was fun, and I'm definitely hyped to see the next issue, where Chung and his family are being set up to fight the Fantastic Four. Let's do this. Shang-Chi, issue number 3, gets an 8.5 out of 10. Giggity, giggity goo.